All right, the Cavs Summer League tips off on Friday. The Cavs are in Las Vegas looking to repeat as Summer League champions, and there are some familiar faces on the Cavaliers Summer League squad. Emoni Bates, Pete Nance, Craig Porter Jr., Luke Travers are all back out there for a second season. Some new guys to keep in mind. DJ Burns, the NC State unsigned, undrafted rookie, who was a superstar in the March Madness tournament. Dexter Dennis, a defensive mastermind. He played on the Charge a little bit at the end of last season. You have Zaire Smith, the former first-round pick. He also plays for the Charge. And Jaylon Tyson, the Cavs' first-round pick, number 20 overall, just a few weeks ago. And guys, the record in Summer League is awesome. The fact they went undefeated last year, the fact they won the championship, that's all awesome. But that's not what really matters in Summer League. What matters is individual player development and getting a glimpse at guys who you hope can crack the rotation this year. And there's a few guys on this Summer League roster I do think are worth keeping an eye on as these games go through. And we'll start with the obvious one, the one we talk about the most on this show, which is Emoni Bates. Can he play in the NBA at the highest level in a functioning offensive system without being the focal point? That remains to be seen. But we should get a little glimpse into that in Las Vegas over the next 10 days because Emoni Bates is in the perfect position to absolutely dominate the Las Vegas Summer League this year. I'm talking about 20 to 25 points a game, efficient shooting, one-on-one highlight reel plays, night in and night out, with hopefully sprinkled in a little bit of improved playmaking, rebounding, and defense. The Summer League, there is not a ton of offensive sets being run. It's not playground basketball. It's more organized than that. But you certainly aren't running through the playbook and running through the offensive sets like you would during a regular game. And Emoni Bates, his best attribute right now is his ability as a 6'8", 6'9" playmaker and scorer is going one-on-one and scoring over guys that don't have great NBA size. He has all the legit size you want in an NBA small forward. He's a 6'8", 6'9". His wingspan isn't tremendously long, but when you're 6'8", 6'9", you don't need crazy long arms. According to the Cavs roster, he's put on 26 pounds of muscle since last season. We'll see what that looks like. Does it affect his quickness? Does it affect his jump shot? We'll find out on Friday and beyond. But Emoni Bates is in a position to become a Las Vegas Summer League superstar. He had a good rookie debut in the Summer League. I believe he made the All-Summer League team as a second or third team guy. Don't quote me on that. I believe he did, though. But he has a chance to be the breakout star of the Summer League because of the style of play that happens in the Summer League, because of his individual skill sets, and because of the fact he's a second-year guy who's now been through the G League, understands what is needed of him, and can showcase that to the highest levels against competition that is below the G League in general. There's a few NBA guys sprinkled in there, especially the rookies who are making their debut. But for the most part, the guys on Summer League rosters aren't going to be in the G League. So if you can dominate them, that's a good indication that you belong not only in the G League, but in potentially the next level as well. If you can't dominate them, well, then we may have some more question marks. And whatever happens in the Summer League, good or bad, will not dictate the future of his career or Craig Porter Jr.'s career or DJ Burns' career. It's just a little indication, another information point we have to add to our arsenal as we talk about these guys moving forward. But no one, and I mean no one, and maybe no one across the entire NBA is in a better position to dominate the Summer League than Emoni Bates. With his size at 6'8", 6'9", with his first step quickness, with his ability to shoot off the dribble, stand still over guys, this situation of basketball is designed for him to flourish. He was good last year. I'm expecting Emoni to be great this year. Craig Porter Jr. also back. There's a chance Craig Porter Jr. might be the best player in the Summer League. And if he is going to be the Cavs' backup point guard this year, assuming Ty Jerome, what can you expect from Ty Jerome? Listen, if you told me he's going to play 80 games or 2 games, I would tell you I'd lean more towards 2 than 80. So if Craig Porter Jr. is going to be the backup point guard, he should go out and once again dominate, not necessarily from a scoring standpoint, but from a controlling the game standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, and from his ability to break guys down off the dribble. He's a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he plays 2 or 3 games in the Summer League, and then they shut him down and say, Craig, thank you, but you're actually too good to be playing here. We need to see other guys because we know your role on the NBA team. You got nothing to prove. So Craig Porter Jr., also another guy I'm expecting big things from. Luke Travers is another guy I'm fascinated to see. He was a second-round pick last season, spent the year in Australia. We talked about the Cavs' need for size on the perimeter. Travers is listed at 6'7", 210. That's certainly bigger than the Merrill, the Strus, the Okoro, the Leverts of the world, the Tysons of the world. So it'll be interesting to see if he can carve out a role, not only in Summer League as a connector, but hopefully on the NBA team as a connector as well. He talked to an organization out in Vegas. I saw it in the NBL. They posted at the National Basketball League of Australia, saying that Travers just wants to be a role player on an NBA team. That's his goal. He understands his ceiling is what it is, but he can be a guy who's a pretty good passer off the dribble for a wing player. He's a decent three-point shooter, not the most athletic guy, but a smarter defender who uses his IQ and wits to be in the right position more often than not. And the Cavs have a need for that 3-and-D type wing if he can develop a better three-point shot and can continue to be the playmaker he is off the dribble against NBA competition that we saw last year against the G League competition. Another guy, DJ Burns, I'm fascinated to see. He's listed on the Cavs Summer League roster at 6'9", 275 pounds. There are reports from Vegas he's playing at about 240, meaning he lost about 35 to 40 pounds over the course of the last 4 or 5 months as he's been training since the end of March Madness. He's not a great rebounder. That was never a strength at NC State. He averaged 4.5 rebounds this past season, but he's a really good facilitator. And in Kenny Atkinson's offense, especially if he wants to take some of the nuances he learned in Golden State with how Steve Kerr used Draymond Green, they run a lot of offensive sets through a high post player. Evan Mobley's the guy I expect to happen most to, but if DJ Burns can prove he can be an NBA caliber playmaker from that high post, then who knows? Maybe he does have another roster spot on this Cavs team, because right now their depth in the front court is Mobley, Allen, Wade, and Niang. That's it. They're still looking for another legit backup center. And I don't think anyone feels super confident in Wade's health and Niang's ability to be consistent for an 82-game season other than his actual availability. That maybe DJ Burns goes out, plays great in Summer League, and finds himself on this NBA roster next season. I don't think it'd be the most shocking thing in the world. I wouldn't bet on it, but I certainly wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. And another guy I'm going to tell you to keep your eye on, I mentioned him earlier, but it is Dexter Dennis. I knew Dexter a tiny bit at A&M. I'm not just saying this because of the fact I know Dennis a tiny bit, but he is a guy who will guard you 94 feet the entire court. He's a defensive menace. And in the Summer League, a lot of these guys get over anxious. They try to speed it up because they're thinking, I got to make a play. I got to make a play. I got to make a play so I can show these coaches why I deserve a roster spot over player X, Y, and Z. And that plays right into Dexter Dennis's hands as one of the better perimeter defenders in the G League last season. He was one of the best college defenders when he was at A&M and at Wichita State prior. He played with Craig Porter Jr. at Wichita State, so they already have that built-in chemistry in the backcourt. So he's another guy, I think, an under-the-radar guy who probably won't make the Cavs roster. They're pretty loaded at the guard position without any trades right now. But another guy I would keep an eye on as the Cavs enter their Summer League, hopefully their Summer League repeat as champions.